Hello, everyone. I'm Sybil Starr. Welcome to Meet Your Star Nation relatives. Today, we will be meeting the Star Nation of Hydra. This is the third in a series of what I hope to be many episodes where we meet different star nations. As our frequency here on Mother Earth is increased, the veil will lift and we will experience the higher dimensional frequencies. And in this higher vibrational field, we will begin to encounter beings, our Star Nation relatives, who exist in these higher dimensional frequencies. I feel I have been guided to introduce humanity to some of these star nations, for they are our families where we also exist in other dimensions and other realities. I'm not the only one doing this, as it is a huge shift in consciousness that is in process, and many have been assigned this task. It is a part of remembering who we are. As it is said, when we remember who we are, we will remember why we came. I have done episodes on Arcturus and Sirius Star Nation relatives. And like I said, today it will be Hydra, because here in August of 2023, Venus went retrograde, conjunct that star, conjunct the brightest star in Hydra, and so is very intimately dancing with Hydra through her whole retrograde cycle. And every year, the sun aligns with Hydra in August, so channels that energy to Mother Earth. So join me on a journey to discover Hydra and our Star Nation relatives from there. You might even discover that you are a Hydra starseed or feel like you have a cosmic connection. All right, let us begin. All right, so here we are. Okay, so meet your Star Nation relatives from Hydra. Okay, so Hydra is the largest of the 88 constellations. It occupies an area of 100 degrees in the sky. I'm going to pull myself down here so you can see Hydra. Here she is right here, okay? And there's her head. This is her head right here. She's very long. Like I said, she is over 100 degrees, and her head is located near the constellation of Cancer, and as the tail lies between Centaurus and Libra, okay? In English, the constellation is known as the water snake or the female water snake. Alpha Hydra, also known as Alphard, is its brightest star, and it has an apparent magnitude of 2.0 and is approximately 177 light years distant from the sun. It is the brightest star in the constellation, and it is believed to be around 420 million years old. Okay, the mythology of Hydra. Let me move myself down here so you can see Hydra. This is another image of her. Here she is. She's like I said, the longest constellation. And in Greek mythology, the Hydra constellation is usually associated with the second of Heracles' labors in Greek mythology. Hydra was a serpent with 9 heads, and one of them was immortal. The celestial Hydra is depicted with only 1 head, presumably the immortal one. The hero Hercules killed the Hydra and then dipped his arrows into its poisonous blood that then contributed to the demise of Hercules himself. Okay. And sometimes it is taken to represent the water snake from the myth about the crow that tried to trick Apollo by blaming the snake for its tardiness in fetching the god some water. The constellation of Corvus the crow, which is right here, rides on the back of the Hydra, as well as the constellation of the cup or crater is what they call this. Okay, they're both there. So the raven went to fill the cup. Okay. All right. And the constellation of Hydra, the serpent, is also depicted on an ancient stone from the Euphrates of 1200 BC, showing it as the source of the great deep and related to the great dragon Tiamat. Hydra is symbolically the ancient female energy in one of its original forms and has probably occupied the sky for tens of thousands of years. Okay, so here we've got some images here. Here's Eve and the serpent, and here's an image of Tiamat, the great sea goddess and sea serpent. Okay, and here we have the rainbow snake, okay, of the Aboriginal people. All right, so when one comes into creation mythology, there seems to be a consistent myth and consistent lineage that is told time and time again, and that is the serpent lineage. It is the basis for all creation myths. Historically, serpents and snake represent fertility or a creative life force. As the snake sheds their skin through sloughing, they are symbols of rebirth, transformation, immortality, and healing. In the Old Testament, in the Bible, the Garden of Eden and the serpent, who was a feminine force that tempted Eve to eat from the tree of life and the knowledge of good and evil. And at that time, humanity was given free will choice at this time with the potential to awaken. And this is actually an image by William Blake of Eve and the serpent. Okay. And the Sumerian creation myth of Tiamat, the primordial goddess of the sea, was associated with the chaos of creation. And we know that all creation comes out of chaos. She was slain by Marduk, and her body, and from her body, the universe was created. That is the myth. Their creation tells of the rainbow serpent and how this was Mother Gaia giving herself to birth all of life. Okay. I'll come up here. All right. In Indian culture, there's many stories depicting the snake as Gaia's life force energy, causing volcanoes and earthquakes. Shiva, the destroyer, has a cobra around his neck, and Kali has snakes around her head. In Egyptian myth, the state of existence before creation was symbolized as Amduat, a many-coiled serpent from which Ra and all of creation arose, returning each night and being reborn every morning. And the I have a hard time saying this, the Ouroboros, which is here, which is an emblematic serpent of ancient Egypt and Greece, represented with its tail in its mouth, continually devouring itself and being reborn from it. A Gnostic and chemical symbol, the Ouroboros expresses the unity of all things, material and spiritual, which never disappear, but perpetually change form in an eternal cycle of destruction. The snake is belly to belly with the earth, and they are guardians and gatekeepers of the underworld, where the essence of Gaia's soul dwells. Okay. All right. And here we have Hydra is called the entwiner, the clinging star, the coil, the strands of DNA, and the kundalini life force that brings enlightenment when awakened. The kundalini is the vital life force that runs through our body and brings enlightenment as it rises up our spine like a serpent. It's called the serpent energy. And here's an image of it. Here's an image of the serpent rising up the spine and activating our pineal gland and creating awakening. Okay. And the kundalini activates the divine feminine creatrix, the cosmic womb, the divine fire of creation. It is the power of the divine feminine known as Shakti. Mary Magdalene is associated with Hydra through the kundalini and sacred sexuality. Mrs. Mary Magdalene right here, or at least one image of her. She was maligned and demonized as a whore and a prostitute, and outcasted for this aspect of the divine feminine, for an embodied spirituality. She trained in the temples of Isis, in the sacred marriage of the divine feminine and divine masculine, and with the raising of the kundalini. She is re-emerging as a divine being as we reclaim the sacredness of our sexuality. There were Egyptian and Indian schools of kundalini awakening related to the teachings of Hydra. And the Egyptian gods and royalty wore the uraeus, which is this right here. It is the cobra on the forehead on their crown, which indicated they were enlightened beings that was due to the awakening of their kundalini. They were awake. Okay. All right. And there is a mythology of serpent people living here. There's a mythology of serpent people living here on Earth. Matias de Stefano, who has recall of lives here on Earth many thousands of years ago, states there are ETs called Sophir, which is this image right here. Okay, the people of the serpent. Matias de Stefano, he's you're not familiar with him. He does a lot of teachings on Gaia. He is a young man who has awakened. Anyway, but he says they are the people of the serpent, and they assisted humanity thousands of years ago. They were beings of great wisdom. He said they were from the Sirius star system, and Sirius is a sister star to Hydra. Sirius had a galactic university for advanced spiritual studies called mystery schools. Many of their teachings were teachings of the serpent, such as healing, death and resurrection, kundalini awakening, and oracular skills, opening our oracular skills. These teachings were brought to Earth in Egypt, India, and many other places. There is a strong connection between Sirius and Hydra. And our symbol for medicine is the entwining snakes, which is here called the caduceus, or the staff of Asclepius, which is one staff with a snake entwined around it. And some say the Nagas from India, here's an image of a Naga, are said to be beings from Hydra. They are a member of a class of mythical semi-divine beings, half human and half cobra. They are a strong, handsome species who also can assume being wholly human or wholly serpentine form, and are potentially dangerous, but are often beneficial to humans. They lived in an underground kingdom called Naga Ioka. And in Turkey, there are many underground tunnels that travel for miles and miles. They are said to be ancient, and that humanity did not have the tools to create these structures. I don't even know that we could create them now, that have lasted for many thousands of years. Some believe these were the homes of the serpent people and the Nagas. That is what Matias de Stefano says, and that was my first intuitive hit as well, that is who lived there. Now, humans did eventually, I think, go down there and live during, times to keep themselves safe, but that is not who built them, because they're very ancient. Okay. In the Aegean world, only women could worship with serpents. When you think of the Cretan snake goddess and the oracle at Delphi, they were all very connected to the serpent energy. There's the Serpent Mound in Ohio in the USA, and it is a sacred site, and it has burial sites around it, but there's not burial sites within it. It is estimated to be from around 300 BC or maybe even older. And for thousands of years, the Hopi tribe of northern Arizona have performed a secretive, sacred ceremony that embodies the nature of the serpent. In modern times, the so-called snake dance has gained notoriety, partly because its participants put live snakes in their mouths and wrap them around their necks. The species, both venomous and non-venomous, might include garter snakes, gopher snakes, bull snakes, sidewinders, and even rattlesnakes. Okay, so here's some of the astrology of Hydra. So the brightest star in Hydra is called Alphard, okay? And it is at Leo, 27 degrees and 36 minutes in 2023. The day of the exact conjunction is on August 20th. And if you have planets within 2 to 3 degrees of a conjunction in Leo or an opposition in Aquarius, you may be a Hydra starseed. or you might carry other markings and just really feel connected to Hydra. Okay. Alphard is at the heart of the serpent and carries the symbolism of the great serpent of creation, and thus can easily manifest in our turbulent world as violent, untamed energy and emotional outburst or even chaos. Nevertheless, to think of Alphard in this purely violent way is misleading, for only when its driving force is submerged in the unconscious will its expression be violent. Its preferred expression is through conscious passion, focused even obsessively on a desired goal with strength and determination. It is the creative, emergent energy of the void or chaos. This is what Bernadette Brady has to say. The astrology king says that the fixed star Alphard gives wisdom, musical or artistic appreciation, knowledge of human nature, strong passions, and lack of self-control. And most who carry Hydra starseed markings also have a connection to crows and ravens, which are very magical creatures. All right, so here are some Hydra starseed traits. Can be very artistic, a natural gift for creating from the earth, very intellectual and spiritual, natural healers, often accompanied by spirits of the dead, connected to the underworld. They're strongly connected to the kundalini energy, connected to Mary Magdalene and the divine feminine, have great wisdom as they delve deeper into the unknown and underworld that many of us are not aware of. They're often messengers as they have a deep connection to the liminal and the underworld, a strong connection to crows and ravens. A Hydra starseed carries a tremendous mission of transforming the serpent lineage and the past demonizing of the feminine. Hydra starseed mission is to bring the divine feminine into wholeness with the divine masculine on the planet through reclaiming the sacredness of sexuality. A Hydra starseed mission on Earth is to align with the goddess rising and bring the divine feminine back into conscious awareness with the sacred worship of Mother Earth and nature. All right, and so here we've got some galactic astrology, and this is a service that I offer where we look at the fixed stars that are in these constellations and how they align with your chart. So in this chart, as you can see, and this is actually my chart, you have the sun here, and the sun is at 26 degrees 56 minutes of Aquarius. You can see that's what it is over here on this natal chart. And so it aligns with Hydra. It is an opposition to Hydra. Okay. And we really look at the oppositions and the conjunctions most closely. All of the other, the trines, the sextiles, the squares, they're kind of add information. But anyway, this is how galactic astrology works. You can kind of look and see the different things that I have going on. Okay. So anyway, and so if you would like to know if you are a starseed origin, if you would like to know your starseed origin, I offer a service called Galactic Astrology, and it shows us our cosmic DNA, our imprinting from the different star nations and our star nation families. I actually have a whole page dedicated to galactic astrology, which explains it a lot deeper. And you can see I have my website here, www.sybylstar.com. So if you're interested, I would love to facilitate your remembering your cosmic origins. Okay, here we go again. Sybil Star, Galactic Astrology, www.sybylstar.com. And as I really feel like galactic astrology helps us remember who we are on deeper levels. For me, it answered on a different level that existential question, who am I? And as we remember who we are, we will remember why we came, our soul mission. So, wishing you all a wonderful day. And like I said, if you're interested, I will also have my information in the description box. But this is just a wonderful way to get to, like I said, know these deeper levels of self. All right, wishing you all a wonderful day, many blessings, and namaste to all of you.